Alright guys, so as some of you guys might be aware, there's a lot of drama in the tricking community right now, and it's pretty much all geared towards who? Not him. Adrenaline. It's with Adrenaline and how they're marketing their sort of next phase of the Adrenaline website. A lot of people see it as a massive threat to tricking.
It really depends.
It's a difficult situation. Basically, how it all started, Alexander posted a clip of this. I'm gonna show you the clip right now. That just doesn't sit right. I'm sure as a lot of you guys are watching, it feels a little bit unsatisfying, you know what I mean? It's like watching those GIFs that are just unsatisfying, like an egg. It's about to break, doesn't break. Quad cork's about to land. Should we be able to see that? That's what we're gonna talk about.
A lot of people have been saying yes.
Yeah. So the real issue here is Alexander posts that clip, and pretty much the only way to see that clip is to pay for Adrenaline, the subscription-based service where that video is only available on there until someone leaked it. Wasn't me. It wasn't. It definitely wasn't. But someone's already leaked the clip. The tricking world is not happy right now because of what people think. Should world first groundbreaking things in tricking, should they be behind a paywall? Is that detrimental to the growth of tricking? In my eyes, it is. If you look at it logically, in anyone's eyes, it is in some ways. So this video, I want to just talk about, there's both sides to the argument, and you've kind of got the tricking community more or less as a whole on one side, and then Adrenaline, and then you have a couple of people in the middle that kind of see both sides, and I would say I'm in the middle as well.
Yeah, I feel very much in the middle.
I've been to all of the Adrenaline events. I'm sure some of you guys know. I'm friends with Maguire. I appreciate what he's trying to do and what the Adrenaline company and business are trying to do. And I've talked to him in depth about how I think what would be good for tricking, what would sort of take away from tricking. This recent move is something I don't personally agree on. And I'm not here to hate. I'm not here to hate on either Adrenaline or the tricking community. I just want to find some reason. And the main purpose of this video is just to get some conversation going about the ways to kind of do what they're trying to do, but in a way that makes both sides happy.
We've been talking about this since the clip came out, and I think you said something that was really good, which is the main reason people dislike this particular thing is that it feels like it's taking away rather than adding.
Yeah.
And a lot of people have noticed that. They've given examples of things that they think work because it's adding, like Koja's Trick Lab, or people were happy to pay for Big because they felt that was like something that they couldn't have had without paying, but like this felt like something that they should have had and then it was taken away.
Yeah.
And that's the part that people feel is frustrating. Comes across like you're taking things away from us. And that's like, obviously doesn't sit as helping the community.
Yeah.
So it's trying to find a way, because the Adrenaline side of this is, you know, Alexander and that wanting to start to make a living in some way, experimenting with ways to make a living from what he can do. Mm-hmm. And this is what he's tried lately. And clearly this doesn't work, and these are the reasons why. And it's trying to find a way where, how can he use his skills in a way that feels like it's adding, but also he can make money.
Yeah, there's a reward for it, for him to be able to add more to the tricking, but have something in return that allows him to do that.
Yeah.
There's ways to add things to tricking and profit off of, and there's a way to take things from tricking and also profit off of. Obviously, if you're adding something, I think it has some benefit. Not everyone's gonna like it, but at the very least, you're adding something. It doesn't matter if some people like it or not, you're not taking anything away that is already there. This recent Adrenaline thing does definitely feel like a take from tricking. And an argument to that is, do we deserve the clip? And I would say yes, but that's Alexander's clip, it's his achievement. If he never even posted about it, he could have just landed it and never posted it and no one would know or care. Like,
yeah, no
it's
one
like
would
it
be
never
mad.
even happened. But that's the detrimental part that takes away from the growth of tricking. On one hand, you have services like Koja's Trick Lab. He's providing all these tutorials and insightful videos that it's not taking anything away from tricking. It's over here, you guys can pay for it, and If you don't want to see tutorials, you don't have to pay for it. And these tutorials are only possible because people pay for the site to facilitate the tutorials that are made. It's not like he's buying out all these people making tutorials for free currently and filtering them all through his site. Yeah. I mean, tricking tutorials will always be free. But what he's providing is a little bit different, and I think it gives a little extra service. And in that sense, I think it's an add to tricking, which wouldn't currently be there. I've said this to McGuire as well, but I think what they were doing with Adrenaline, with the events, a lot of people had problems with that because they're like, why can't we see these battles? Tricking battles should be free. Like, I'm not gonna pay for a tricking battle. These tricking battles were only possible due to people paying to see them because they were putting so much money into it to throw the events, pay the athletes, make this really good content. And in my eyes, that is fair because you don't have to watch the battles. It does kind of suck if you feel left out because you don't want to pay and you can't see them. But at the end of the day, they were adding this whole battle platform that you could watch if you wanted to, or you didn't have to if you didn't.
Yeah, if they put the battles out for free, that's more battles for people to see, but it's an ad in the sense that without them running in, flying out these people and stuff, it wouldn't, none of those battles would be, so it is an ad, otherwise it's just, they didn't happen.
There's also a lot of talk on how much are Adrenaline paying these pros? Are they lining their own pockets? Honestly, in some people's eyes, I think this is like a big part of the discussion. For me, it's not as much really about that. It's more about the ongoing effect of using this business model that they seem to have tried out and scaling that up, because I think that would really affect tricking. I think in their eyes, doing it this way is going to bring more people to the site and they're going to be able to pay the pros more. Just at this point in time, obviously that monetary reward is going to be quite low, but at the same time, trickers want to be paid for doing quad cork combos. Like, he's worked so hard for that. Should he be rewarded? I agree.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the best way to do it.
No. It's basically just trying to... I think the first thing to try and understand is both sides' point of view, so that then anyone can try and come to something that helps everyone. So from the Alexander and Adrenaline side, it's, this time and effort that has gone into, a lifetime of being able to do this stuff, and starting to feel like, well, wouldn't it be cool if I could, think of a skater or something of his level. They're living off what they do. And, why shouldn't Alexander as well? Of course he should. So he's trying things. And so, I understand why they made this move. I understand why the community has been frustrated with it and thinks it's a bad idea. I think we have to be more open to these kind of things being experimented with, and they should definitely be criticized if, they don't sit well.
Yeah.
But to understand that tricking has never been at this point, so people are trying new things to figure out what's possible. And, there's going to be some hits along the way, like, okay, ooh, that didn't work. But I feel like that's kind of necessary to find what does work. So a bit of give on both sides, I think, It's difficult.
People paint the McGuires out as this greedy, money-hungry family, but they are trying to find that happy ground between trickers and what they're doing and find something that works, because it almost seems like, personally, that they undervalue what having the tricking community on your side can do for you. But what they did with this recent Alexander clip, I would say, although maybe not everyone's voicing their opinions, 99% of the tricking community is not on board with that. And that overall, being a tricking company, media company, even if you're involved in martial arts, that's a really important thing. Originally, people started to reach out to McGuire and really talk a lot of shit on him. And that makes a lot of sense. He's the face of Adrenaline. People associate the behind the scenes going on as McGuire, running it all, steering the ship. But then it came out that Alexander, it was his idea to post a clip and funnel people into his affiliate link, so he would then make money on the signups. If people signed up to the site, they would see the clip. Among all the other clips, there's like 400 videos on the site, and they're adding a bunch of stuff to it. But irrelevant to all of that, it was Alexander's idea. Now, as you guys know, good friends with Alexander, do I think this was a really stupid move to do? Yes. But I completely get where he's coming from, why he thought that would be good. Because in a lot of people's eyes, if you can generate a lot of signups, that's a good thing. But there's a good way to make signups and there's a bad way to make signups. And who am I to say that one or the other is bad? But on one hand, you've got 99% of the tricking community, which is your audience that you're trying to convert to sign up. They're not happy with it. And if people online are talking shit all the time, then it's probably not a good thing.
I think it's good that this happened. I think it's good that someone tried this and then the community voiced what they thought. I think the only stupid thing now would be for both sides to not learn from this. I think it's like, for example, we were talking the example, the Jose Quintful, let's say he does that. Should that be behind a paywall? I think that would be, especially after this, a very bad move.
Yeah.
Adrenaline needs to feel like it's giving, and I think if it can find where it, where it can charge and where it can give, for example, I think Quintful, that should definitely go out. And I think little things like that to help show like we're not trying to just paywall everything would be good to start trying to build more trust with the community, because adrenaline could be good for a lot of people, but it's not going to grow if it doesn't have the trust of the community. So I think there needs to be a fair bit more transparency as well from adrenaline.
Definitely.
I think at the moment, and again, I feel for Maguire and Adrenaline, because they're trying their best to run this thing that no one's ever run before, and they're trying to give, I don't know, they're trying to protect themselves and give answers that I don't know what I would do if this happened to me, but I think that people need to feel like Adrenaline is actually listening, and that the back and forth is a bit more frequent and transparent than just like kind of, one big statement every so often.
Well, like,
build that trust.
There's one thing, like, for example, the Jose Quintful. If that was behind a paywall, and very well that could happen with Jose. You don't even know. Jose could pull that out his ass in the next couple of days.
Tonight,
yeah, he's probably done it already. Honestly, he's probably on Adrenaline already, and that is just not good for the future of tricking. Now, like, Sean made a whole video on the future of tricking, and this is the type of thing that people are like warning us about, or saying like, oh, it's not good because this and this and that. And these are all things that I've talked to Maguire about and told him, like, this is bad because you'll be taking from tricking in certain ways. And there's probably a happy medium to meet in the middle and make both sides somewhat happy. But you're never going to, I don't think with their current business model, there's a way that everyone will be happy, because at the end of the day, you have to pay for it if you want to see it.
Yeah, unless somehow Adrenaline was just like completely free, like, there's going to be someone that's not happy.
And so that kind of leads me on to, like, a lot of people would say if this was a really well-made full production that Adrenaline had funded, if they flew Jimmy Kane out there and his production team and filmed this amazing sampler, a lot of people seem to think that that would be fine. And arguably, like, you're not wrong, like, maybe that would be fine, but what's the difference if that touchdown race, well, the quad court combo was at the end of that, and then that is just the clip that they happen to promote? It's still, in a sense, pulling a little bit away, like withdrawing the community from that game-changing clip. That's one of the issues. It doesn't matter if it's a full sampler or a clip. It's the withholding just game-changing tricks, be it in a sampler or an individual clip.
Yeah, I think maybe like it's difficult because when you try and make comparisons to bigger sports like basketball or like Red Bull as a company or whatever, it's difficult to really compare because they have kind of a budget to do things in a different way. Like, because I'm just, the reason they held this clip back in the first place is because they're trying to find a way to like bring people to what they're doing, because it's not Red Bull yet. But let's say they did make a whole sampler and it was great and amazing. Maybe what I would do is then release that clip as the kind of giving, and then to watch the rest of this production, sign up to Adrenaline. Like, something like that, a sort of balance.
It's a little bit of a trade-off, because for Adrenaline, they would be giving away probably the best clip in the sampler, and people would kind of be seeing that before they've even watched it. But that is the give to the tricking community that I feel in some sense they do deserve, because it's a game-changing thing, and it's essential to the growth of the sport. So withholding everything, and the clip like just cutting out, like it's so unsatisfying, and it really left like a bad taste for a lot of people.
Yeah.
Like I watched it and it honestly kind of cringed me out, because you can tell right away this is not a good move for anyone. Neither Adrenaline or Tricking, and I'm sure it converted a lot of signups, but I don't think that is a good measure of success.
Yeah.
In this situation.
You can measure signups, but there isn't a stat you can look at for the trust and respect that the community has of an entity. But I think that's really shouldn't be underestimated. Like your kind of standing within the community and how the community sees you and is willing to support you based on your actions. So I think, you know, less signups but a better kind of reputation within the community overall will do more. Yeah, will help grow it more.
This is why it's so difficult to talk about, is because I don't know the perfect solution, and you don't either. Like no one does. I'm sorry, Sean, you don't either. Don't even lie. You're putting it on for these guys. And if you know, then why don't you build peen?
It's not my place to say.
You should build the next peen battles. But like a lot of people have a lot of solutions to the problem. One of them being YouTube. If Adrenaline just had their free YouTube platform, similar to what I'm doing with Plan Zero, but if they had all the pros uploading to that, then they would make way more money doing that. Honestly, I don't think that is the case. Sadly, people don't overly care about Tricking. Not yet anyway. I think they would make less money doing that, and in return be able to pay the pros even less. But at a trade-off of the content being free, I don't think that's the best solution for them in this case. People talk about Patreon. That also comes with, you know, certain sort of limitations as well. The one thing I think has really worked for Adrenaline is their original events. Having been to them, I think that was great. And the summer event that they had, that was also, you know, I think that was also when you were filming Future of Tricking.
It was really cool.
That's a really big positive part of the Future of Tricking. But what they're doing right now is a little bit of a take from Tricking, and people aren't happy about it. I'm not that happy about it, but at the end of the day, I'm not here to hate on anyone. I'm just here to be in the middle, see this side, and I think it's every tricker's responsibility to try find some happy ground, because Adrenaline are open to suggestions. How can we find that happy medium between Adrenaline and the Tricking community in a way that doesn't sort of limit the future scope of Tricking?
Yeah, I mean, and this is why, you know, I called the original video The Future of Tricking, is because these discussions are happening now. They go beyond Adrenaline. It's about how Tricking moves forwards. What Adrenaline is doing is causing these discussions, but it's, you know, it's bigger. It could affect what we're talking about right now. Any other company that was, or any other person that was to try and monetize themselves in Tricking, this will help these discussions we have trying to find these answers. So, you know, for the sake of all of Tricking, like if we can find a solution,
yeah, it'd be great.
It'd be really nice.
It'd be good for everyone. If you can find a happy solution, it would be a lot better for everyone. So rack your brains and let us know in the comments. And just as a closing thought, in case you don't get which side I'm sort of on, honestly, I'm not happy with the way that the Adrenaline recent clip was posted and the way that funnels people to their site. I don't hate Adrenaline, I still work with them. I very much support the whole battle side that they're trying to pursue, but they have a lot of figuring out before they can start kind of taking content away from Tricking, which in my eyes, in a lot of people's eyes, should be free public domain for the growth of the sport. And that's what I want to know. Do you guys know? I'm hoping someone out there knows. Maybe Elon Musk is watching and he'll just do something cool.
Elon, Jordan Peterson, everyone just please sort it out. Like, yeah. I understand where you guys are coming from, and I understand why the community is pissed. I feel so much in the middle, because I care about Tricking and I want good things for Tricking. So I just try and see the situation and what's happening, how to make it better, you know. I feel for everybody, and but yeah, I think obviously this isn't the way, because the community's they've kind of spoken on this, you know?
Yeah, I feel in the middle, but it's not because I'm equally agree to both sides. I definitely, in this case, the topic of the video, the quad cork, that progression, I'm much more on the trickers, the community side. But the reason I'm in the middle is because I know that they're not trying to do bad, and I know that there is some kind of happy medium.
Yeah.
And adrenaline isn't just going to disappear like as much as some people might want. They're going to keep on progressing, trying new ideas, and it's on us to think of cool, good, positive ways that they could do that, and then they might take it on board.
Yeah. I think because obviously again it was Alexander's idea. You know, he wanted to do this with his clip, and everyone is entitled to do what they want with their clip. But I think for those people who own the clips, I think it's in their interest just as much to see those clips as I should put this out for free, because I think it is better for the sport and your reputation, which, as I said, I think reputation is important. So
yeah, it really is. Might be some comments in here like, why don't you sponsor Trickers, Kyle? And basically the biggest reason behind that is there's nothing I could pay back that would warrant, you know, what people could do for me in terms of being sponsored by Planet Zero. I don't want to sponsor anyone and just give them free clothes. If I was to sponsor anyone, I'd want to have the money to be able to pay them what they can do for me in return. It isn't like a feasible thing. I don't want to rip any tricker off for, you know, having them work for me. But maybe in the future, who knows? I'd love to sponsor people and be able to pay people, but gotta pay for this fat, sick house. Anyways, I'm sure we've talked for 25 minutes, so let me know what you think about all of this, and if you're really bored and you have no clue what's going on, sorry, but check back in a couple of days with another video. And maybe subscribe if this is the first video you've ever seen from this channel.
a lot more of this.
A lot more of that 25-minute talking video. Anyways, thanks for listening. Hopefully someone out there has a genius idea. Not for my sake, but for all of us.
For tricking.
God bless.
I'm intrigued by the thunder, and the lightning comes streaming in my heart.